In today's video, I review what Dr. Berg eats in a day. Roll the titles.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As always, just a quick reminder that I'm now offering the SIBO, organic acid, stool tests and consult via my website. So if you have any health or digestive problems, then consider taking these tests, as they will provide a lot of very detailed information upon which you can start making informed decisions and then start getting your health back on track. And on that bombshell, to the video.
So recently someone had a question, what have I been eating lately and what is my intermittent fasting routine? So I want to talk about that in this video. I have some other videos and you're going to find it's very similar to the last videos. I'm not changing very often. I can pretty much eat the same thing every single day.
So keep that statement about eating the same foods every day in the back of your mind for the end of the video.
Karen cannot, so she has to vary it up. So this is what I do. In the morning, 5 o'clock, I get up, I go to bed at 10:30. Doing this intermittent fasting, I need less sleep, okay? So I do my coffee organic, and sometimes I use half and half, but I prefer to use heavy cream, okay, and it's grass-fed.
Because it's grass-fed that makes all the difference. Because it's grass-fed, that is the difference between you living to 90 in good health and dying of a heart attack at 60. Nothing to do with the saturated fats or anything like that. Absolutely not, according to Dr. Berg.
And then I do 1 packet of xylitol. Now, the amount of coffee I drink is a very small cup, okay? Because I abused myself in college. I used to drink pots of coffee and I burned out my adrenals, so I no longer do that. I just have 1 small cup and I'm good for the whole day.
Surely if you're on such a good diet 30 years after you finish college, then your adrenals would be fine by now, would they not? Or here's a theory for you, Dr. Berg. Maybe your tolerance to coffee has nothing to do with your adrenals and it has everything to do with your cytochrome P450 enzymes. 90% of caffeine clearance from the body is coded from the gene CYP1A2, and this has nothing to do with the adrenals. Anyway, let's move on.
So I'll do that at 5. At 6, I will get some water with lemon. Usually I'll do 1 to 2 ounces of organic lemon juice.
Always the lemon water, isn't it? That magic digestion starter that magically kickstart the digestive tract in the morning.
Sometimes I'll use real lemons and I'll have like maybe, I don't know, 12 to 16 ounces of water, and that's when I take my vitamins.
So eats the supposed healthiest diet around and still has the need for vitamins and minerals.
Okay. So that's at 6, and then I'm not going to eat until between 1 and 3 o'clock. Now, I am absolutely not hungry at this point of the day. If I had my way, I would actually just do 1 meal a day. Oh, that rhymed. But I don't because I lose too much weight.
So intermittent fasting is showing a lot of promise for our longevity prospects, according to some of the latest science. OMAD is an unnecessary step too far, with little science to support it. Apart from certain digestive issues, but then I would always recommend trying to fix those digestive issues head on, rather than modifying your diet to control symptoms.
I'm 6'2", I weigh 180 pounds. If I do 1 meal a day, I will get down to like 177, and I don't like that. So I like 180. I feel comfortable with that. And but it's very difficult to consume that many calories because I would have to consume like, I don't know, 3,000 to 3,500 calories in 1 meal. And that's really, really tough. So I'll break it up between 2 meals.
He has not even mentioned the fact that there is a finite limit to the amount of calories and proteins, etc. your digestive tract will absorb in one sitting. So depending on what you are eating, for some people it's an absolute nightmare maintaining weight on an OMAD diet.
So the first meal is between 1 and 3, maybe 2 o'clock on average, okay? So, and the first meal I'll do my 4 eggs. They're pasture-raised organic eggs.
Pasture-raised organic eggs that take you over every recommendation for saturated fat intake by the time you finish your first meal of the day. But of course, Dr. Berg, with 0 medical credentials or very limited nutritional training, knows better than all of the world's health organizations put together.
Okay. When you see free range, it doesn't mean anything. Or it says with vegetarian feed, that means they're doing, like GMO grains. You want organic and you want pasture-raised, okay?
Again, show me one shred of evidence that eating pasture-raised organic eggs over conventional eggs will improve your health outcomes.
Okay. And I normally try to get these at the farmer's market. Okay, 4 ounces of bacon. And it's not the type of bacon you might think. I get it from the farmer's market, or I will get it at a health food store, and it's going to be organic. So how much is 4 ounces? If you take one of those packs and you cut it in half, that's how much I consume.
No, it's not the bad bacon that the World Health Organization has stated that we should all cut down on. No. Dr. Berg eats the magic, good for you bacon. Again, if you eat the magical bacon, the saturated fat content also disappears.
Some people think I have a pound of bacon a day. I don't. So it's 4 ounces. It's not that much. And believe it or not, bacon is not as fat as you think because all the fat gets fried off.
Again, Dr. Berg, stop throwing gibberish out there when the science says the complete opposite. In this simple study looking at cooking, storage and reheating effect on the formation of cholesterol oxidation products in processed meat products, the researchers found that bacon had the highest fat content at around 48.5%, and the fat content of meat products varied significantly as a result of cooking and reheating, as well as during storage. And they also found that bacon showed non-significant changes upon cooking and reheating.
So there's a lot of other meats that are a lot fattier than bacon. I just like bacon. My body likes it. It has a lot of B1. You don't have to do bacon. That's just what I do.
I want my bacon. I gotta tell you something. Bacon is good for me.
Okay, 3 ounces of cheese. I really like the sheep cheese or goat cheese. I'll cut it up in small pieces and I will fry the eggs and I'll put the cheese on top. And then what I'll do is I'll flip it over easy and then I'll put the bacon on top of that. Now with the cheese, I usually do European cheese, high quality, organic, grass-fed cheese.
Again, the organic label on the packaging magically takes away all of the saturated fats from the 3 ounce of cheese. 23 to 30 grams of saturated fat in 3 ounce of goat's cheese just magically floats away as soon as the organic label is added.
1/4 cup olives, that's in my egg mixture, and maybe 1 tomato. So that's pretty much my first meal. So you can see it's mostly protein and fat.
I can certainly see that's just protein and fat, so let's just total up that little lot. So for that first meal of the day, Dr. Berg is probably around 1100 to 1200 calories. And in terms of fat, he is already at 32.6 grams of saturated fat and 807 milligrams of cholesterol. For most of the protein and amino acids, he is already at 200 to 250% of his requirements. And in terms of his vitamins and minerals, as you would expect, he hasn't really had any intake of folate, vitamin C, vitamin E, or even vitamin K. So let's see where he goes from here.
So between 5 and 6, I'll have my second meal. I'll start with a huge salad between 7 to 10 cups. I don't do spinach, okay? I will do lettuce leaf type salad from the health food store or the farmer's market. And I'll usually cut a bell pepper. I'll do some tomato, maybe cabbage, maybe kale, and I'll cut it up, put it in my salad. And I also put some Parmesan cheese on the salad.
Because that 3 ounce of cheese that you just had 2 hours before wasn't quite enough.
So I'll do the salad, take my time to eat that, and I will then have my protein, okay? On average, 7 ounces.
So he does 7 ounces of bacon and cheese and 4 eggs just 2 hours before, and good old Dr. Berg thinks he may be running a bit low again.
I may do a burger. And of course, it's high quality, it's grass-fed, organic, okay? I like doing salmon a lot, so it's wild caught.
Now, I will say in Dr. Berg's defense that there is significantly less arsenic and mercury in wild salmon compared to farm salmon. That being said, there is still a lot of metals such as copper and cadmium, but again, that magically disappears when that wild-caught label goes on the packet.
I'll do shrimp. I'll do hot dogs, not the regular hot dogs that you might think. I will get them at the farmer's market, and they're grass-fed, and they're very healthy.
Of course, Dr. Berg only buys the processed refined meat that is healthy, and he is shielded from the known harms of these meats because he buys them from a farmer's market.
And then sometimes I'll do a steak, okay? So that's pretty much what I will consume for my protein. If I'm doing a burger or hot dogs, I will add mustard to that, not ketchup. And sometimes I'll add some fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, something like that.
Well, at least that's something, although the only thing that his gut is going to be fermenting with all of that meat is protein, so I hardly think that a portion of sauerkraut is going to help with the endotoxins released from those protein fermenting bacteria.
Then I'll have some nuts, pecans, or pistachios. So I'm very consistent. I can do this. My body runs on it. And I'm not going to eat anything from that point on till the next day.
Okay, thankfully that is over, so let's quickly add up the numbers. So in terms of calories, I think that Dr Berg will be at around 2,100 to 2,500 calories a day, and for a man of his height and build, that is perfectly normal. In terms of fats, he is very heavy on omega-6s and less on the omega-3s, and this will obviously change on the days that he has salmon and other fish. And for saturated fat, he is around 18 grams over almost all health guidelines for saturated fat daily intakes. In terms of proteins, 400 to 500% of the RDAs for those essential amino acids is absolutely ridiculous. Again, the risks of high protein intake are known, and whatever side of the diet fence you sit on, most sensible people will acknowledge that this high intake of protein is absolutely unnecessary for human nutrition. And finally, for vitamins and minerals, generally okay, and he will generally hit those calcium levels on the days where he is eating kale and also sardines. So look, as a typical day of eating, he is hitting most of his RDAs. But unfortunately for Dr Berg and the animals, he can't get those nutrients without high levels of saturated fat, cholesterol and bioaccumulations of heavy metals in the food chain. Sorry, I forgot though, as long as you stick an organic label on it, those problems simply vanish. Anyhow, that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, remember to look after your body because it's the only place you have to live. And I'll see you next time.